Look, Bumble knows you're exhausted by dating. All the must not take yourself too seriously and 6'1" since that matters. And what do I even say other than hey? Well, that's why they're introducing an all-new Bumble with exciting features to make compatibility easier, starting the chat better, and dating safer. They've changed, so you don't have to. Download the new Bumble now.
Mom deserves the best, and there's no better place to shop for Mother's Day than Whole Foods Market. They're your destination for unbeatable savings, from premium gifts to show-stopping flowers and irresistible desserts. Start by saving 33% with Prime on all body care and candles. Then get a 15-stem bunch of tulips for just $9.99 each with Prime. Round out Mom's menu with festive rosé, irresistible berry chantilly cake, and more special treats. Come celebrate Mother's Day at Whole Foods Market.
Welcome to Her Extraordinary Life by Design, where we celebrate women who are shaping their lives one extraordinary day at a time. I'm your host, Leslie Gaudette, self-care coach for women who are ready to make self-care a priority to support them in life and business. Every week, I'll be speaking with inspiring women from various walks of life who will share their personal journeys and will discover how they have fearlessly carved their own paths as business owners, passionately pursuing their dreams and creating a meaningful impact on their communities. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Her Extraordinary Life by Design podcast. I'm your host, Leslie, and today we're talking with Robynn Powers. Robynn is a health coach with a BA in psychology and a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, pre-post-natal exercise specialist, and group fitness instructor who helps busy moms implement daily strategies to improve their energy, strength, and confidence. She is passionate about helping moms become the healthiest versions of themselves so that they can feel good in their bodies and feel free to live their lives the way they deserve to, without taking time away from family or making the journey to health too complicated. I'm really happy that Robynn has carved out time to join me today, so let's get started. Welcome, Robynn. I'm excited to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, Leslie.
Yeah, so before we get started, I like to start my podcast episodes getting to know my guests a little bit more. So with that in mind, could you tell us a little bit more about Robynn the woman? Who are you? And then we'll talk more about what you do.
Who am I? I could probably go on for hours now. But I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I am a fitness and health enthusiast. I really have been kind of passionate about health and fitness for many years now. I've been in the industry for almost 20 years and just enjoy learning all the new things and seeing kind of how things evolve over time within the industry. And I'm loving that it's becoming more of like a holistic, you know, there's a lot more holistic approaches and not so like hardcore, you got to do this and strict and rigid. And so I'm really happy about that. But what really I think is a big thing about me is I like things to be simple. I hate the complication. I hate things that make you feel like you're struggling, things that don't really work in your life. You know, even if you have a goal, if there's something you want, I don't think it ever has to be some grueling thing, something that you feels like you're just being tortured to get there. I think there's always a way. The journey should be enjoyable. Even if it takes some effort, it shouldn't be too complicated or feel like it's just too much, too frustrating, too overwhelming. I think there's always a way to keep things simple and still get things done and get the results that you want.
Yeah, I'm like you. I love now that a lot more people are looking at wellness as being this piece of their life that's important. It's becoming more and more of a non-negotiable. I don't know if I still think it needs a little bit more work when it comes to work environments, because there's still that whole productivity is like at the forefront, like how much work you can get done. And there's not necessarily that approach to like, oh, let's look at making sure that my team members are feeling good today, like they are taking their breaks, that they're not just working through, they are being efficient and productive at the same time. So they're using their time efficiently, but they're also taking those breaks. I think it's really important. So I really love that. Thank you for telling us a little bit more about you. And I know that we share a common mission of wanting to help others to embrace their authentic selves through taking care of ourselves, self-care being at the core level. So tell us about your business and what inspired the work you do to support busy moms and their health and wellness.
So yeah, and as a health coach, and I do my main clients are moms. And really what inspired it was after years of being just focused on the fitness part, the exercise part, and seeing these women mostly coming in and consistently exercising, and like pushing themselves and not really seeing the changes that they wanted to see and the not reaching the goals that they wanted to reach. And it's like, well, they're doing this thing that's good for them, but there's just so much more to it. Or they're starving themselves. They're just eating less and less, or eating in a way that's not really making them happy. They just have been told you have to eat this way if you want to feel the way you want to feel, look the way you want to look. And so after so many years of being in that part of it, just knowing like, yes, that's great if you exercise, it's so good for you. But for one, it shouldn't be a relationship with what you eat or anything else when you're thinking about exercise. But just knowing that it's such a small piece of it, I really wanted to help women get to a point where they can live the life they want to live, feel comfortable in their bodies, and know that it doesn't mean they have to spend hours in the gym. And that's not all about working out. And it's not even all about the nutrition, which most people know, like, okay, I have to work out and I have to eat right. But there's so much more to it. There's the stress relief. We're never going to be healthy if we're constantly stressed. There's the sleep. If we don't get enough sleep, our bodies are not going to be healthy. Our stress increases, our hormones get all messed up. It just wreaks havoc on our bodies if we don't get this sleep. Staying hydrated. And most of all, having the right mindset around all of it. If we're constantly feeling like we're in a struggle and it's stressful and maybe it's not worth it and all that, and we just have so much negativity around it, it's never going to work. And so starting off with that mindset piece is what I do with my clients, getting them to understand that the way that they're looking at things really makes that difference. If we look at if in nutrition, if we look and say, okay, I'm supposed to eat this, this, and this because that's what is supposed to be healthy, but I don't really like it. And it's not what I want to eat, but I'm just eating it because I have to. That is not going to last. So I help them get their mindset around the healthiest way to eat long term is by eating things you do enjoy, getting a feel for what your body actually likes, what feels good, what satisfies you. That's going to be sustainable. And then looking at the nutritional facts after you know what you enjoy and what feels good in your body. And not feeling like exercise is a way to punish yourself or a way to burn off the calories that you ate, but exercising because movement feels good. Finding something you actually enjoy. So, yeah, there's so many pieces to the pie, or that I call the wheel of health, that I like to work on because sometimes focus so much on the exercise and the nutrition and they forget about those other things that are really the things that are holding them back and keeping them stuck.
I love that, the wheel of health. I want to ask you about mindset because you've mentioned that. Is this like where you find you spend a lot of your time? Because I know food really does play a huge part in, especially when we're working out, because we start looking like, oh, the scale is going up. And yet I'm working out all the time, but then they don't realize I'm also eating more. So do you find like there's a lot of mindset work that you do?
Absolutely. I said, I think it always has to start there. And also, kind of with each new thing that somebody is working on, the mindset has to be the first step around. Because why are you going to do something if you're not in the right headspace of why is this even important? How is this going to help me? And not going into it as this is what I have to do. Like, like, this is what I get to do because I love myself and I want to feel good and I want to do what's right for me because I love my life and I want it to be the best quality that it can be. So I think with any new thing that you're introducing, the mindset has to come first with why you're doing it and what your outlook is on it.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to go a little bit deeper into that because I'm always fascinated by anything mindset because I know it really is that foundational piece to pretty much everything in life for us. Whatever we're doing, it's all about how we think and feel and our reactions and all of that that comes from those beliefs. And those beliefs that we reinforce them over and over and over as we go through life. So I'm curious when you are working, especially with moms with small children, I know that over time they get into their rhythm. The kids are now in school and it kind of, I think, probably becomes easier. But what about new moms? Because I'm sure you've probably come across like new moms. You grew a body, like you grew a being inside of you. And so you don't look the same as you did going into the pregnancy. And so coming out, how do you help your clients who are, at that place? Okay, I've now had my baby, but now they're looking at themselves and they have that whole skewed image, I guess, of themselves. And then, of course, if postpartum might become part of it, like how do you manage them? Because I'm sure it's like a delicate kind of dance that you have to go through with your clients.
I think you really just have to help them understand that they can give themselves grace, allow their body to transform the way that it needs to, because yes, you grew a human being in your body. It's not going to go right back. And honestly, it might never go back to the way it was exactly before. And that's okay too, because, we have bodies, but we are not our bodies. The person we are inside is not our body. It's our vehicle. It's our way to do the things we want to do in life, but we are not our body. So to kind of step outside of that mindset of I am what I look like and know that instead of being so focused on just looking at the physical appearance, thinking about loving yourself the way you are right now and doing the things for your body that will feel good. Like I said before, it's always how you feel, um, giving yourself the things that you need because you love yourself, right? Maybe you don't love a certain body part right now, but that's okay. You still love yourself enough to do the things that are going to give you that better quality of life, make you feel good, make you happy, because a lot of these things too can really affect your mood, especially when you have a new baby or something and you're not getting that enough sleep. And that's just kind of unavoidable. You can do, naps here and there, but it's kind of unavoidable to get great sleep, probably maybe even the whole first year of your new baby's life. So do what you can and really just give yourself the grace to know that it's okay. If my body did not snap back to what it was, are you still functioning? Are you still allowing yourself to give yourself the, stress relief methods? Are you still nourishing your body in a way that you're getting the nutrients that you need to feel good, to have the energy, and just know that it's okay. Like, we're all going to transform in some way or another. And as long as you're staying positive and thinking about not punishing yourself, but nourishing yourself, when you're starting in that mindset, everything becomes a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah. So I know we talked about mindset and working on our inner self. So as a mom, because I'm not a mom, I've not been
Yeah.
through that journey. How were you able to manage your time where you felt like you were able to honor space for yourself as well as be able to, because you're giving to another human being who is like, as one person I know said, we are born, very, very dependent upon someone to give us everything. So that person that is being depended upon to give everything, how did you find was the best way for you to manage your time so that there was space just for you?
I think the best way is to work out with your partner or with friends with kids is to kind of take turns so that you can have that break and not feel like you're constantly the caregiver, constantly on high alert, constantly being needed, to kind of switch off that. And I know the mom guilt is a real thing. Like, oh my gosh, if I take time for myself, I feel so guilty. I should be using it to spend time with my kids and whatever. But honestly, if you take that time for yourself, you will be a better mom in the times that you spend with your kids. So really schedule it out if you have to. If you have to put it on the schedule to make it happen, ask your partner, hey, I need this half an hour one day a week, or I need this outing with my friends. Or if you can co-op together with some of your friends where you take turns watching each other's kids, even so you can go grocery shopping by yourself. I've done that before when the kids are little. It's a much different experience. So just ask, knowing that it's okay to ask for support, really, that you don't have to do it all your own, and reminding yourself that you don't have to feel guilty for needing that time, because it will create better relationships, that you're less irritable and less likely to snap at your kids, and the bond's going to be better, and it's going to be a better experience for everybody, not just for you.
Yeah, I think that whole mom guilt, it's funny that you brought that up because one of my friends, and I know she's not the only one, but I always used to wonder when we would go out shopping, the first thing that came to mind was buying something for her children. And I think it's that mom thing that you just turn on. It's like, oh, kids first, kids first, kids first. So I guess with self-care, a lot of the time, probably that guilt comes in. It's like, oh, if I take time for me, I'm being selfish because they need me. But like you were saying, in order to be the best mom that you want to show up as, and it's not about being perfect, but it's just being in that element where you're rested, where you feel like your cup is filled. You don't feel resentful because they're demanding of your time, but you feel good about now you can go and you can give of yourself without feeling like I have no time for me. Because my sister-in-law, my youngest brother, his wife, his firstborn didn't really sleep the whole first year, like you were mentioning. And she worked, her job was part of her time was working during the days, and then half of the year was working nights. So I couldn't imagine how they were able to manage this when you had such a colicky baby. And so it's just like, I guess you were saying, finding ways to get your community to support you, so your friends who have children or family members or however, even if they don't have children, maybe even the people that in your life that care about you could help you in that as well. So it was really interesting to me because I thought, like, I always wondered about that. Was it guilt or was it just because that was the first thing that came to mind? Like, do you think it's not really necessarily guilt, but it's more about I want to give to my children first? Do you think that's what it is? Because
I
I
think
always wondered.
both come into play. Yes, you make your kids happy and you want to give to them, but I honestly do think a lot of, lots of mom friends, and I'm a mom, just knowing even to go out for the night with some friends feels like, oh my God, should I be doing this? Like, I feel guilty because I should be home with my kids, especially when you have those kids that have a real attachment to you and they get upset when you leave them with somebody else. But I mean, they get over it really quickly for the most part, normally. But then you're still out feeling guilty the whole time. But I just want moms to remember, like, it's not a selfish thing, honestly, like going out and taking that time for yourself, or staying in and taking that time for yourself while you send the rest of the family out, just to have a little bit of relaxation time and doing the things you want to do, because you're still an individual, right? Yes, you're a mom, but you're not just a mom. You are your person. You deserve to have some individual happiness and activity in your life that doesn't involve your kids.
Yeah. So with what you do, can you take me through like a little bit of the process of how you start, or even wherever you'd like to share on when you start to work with a mom, helping her to see that just as important to put on her VIP list. I like to call them the VIP list because you put all your family, your friends, everyone else is on there, but usually you're at the bottom and sometimes you fall off. So how do you work with moms? I know that mindset is part of the process, but can you take us through like a little bit of that process of where you start and what it looks like?
So, with my Moms for Generational Health program, which is a 12-week program, we do start with mindset and we start with kind of looking at our individuality as far as making, like, some people might call it a vision board or creating some kind of visual to really write down what your goals are, what you envision, how you envision your life if you reach these goals, what they mean to you, what they mean to your family if you reach these goals. And so then they can kind of tie it together, not just this is what I want for me, but this is what I want for my family because this is going to enhance all of our lives, not just my own. It's not selfish. It's going to be good for me. It's going to be good for them. And then to have so that they can have that visual throughout the whole program that they can keep. I tell them, keep it somewhere where you're going to see this every day. So you can remind yourself, why, yes, why you're doing it, but all the little details of, oh yeah, this is going to make this better. This is going to help me get here. This is going to, improve my relationship with my kids and my partner. And it's really going to help everyone in the family. So just to have daily reminders and to write in a journal and have those affirmations that they actually believe, because there's so many affirmations out there saying, oh, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm, whatever they come up with as their own. But if they don't actually believe it, then it's just something that they're saying. It's not going to really hit home and actually change their actions. So those are two of the things that we do. But mindset kind of, it starts there, but like I said, it continues to work its way throughout the entire 12 weeks, no matter what we're talking about, because it has to start there. If we don't believe it, we're not going to change our actions.
Yeah, absolutely. I truly believe that. It's like having those milestone check-ins to see where you're at. Are you still feeling the same way as you did when you first started? And reminding them of, I think it's powerful to remind someone when they can look back where they first started and their thoughts, and they can tell that there's been a shift. I think that's important. And also it's teaching their kids, their partners, that self-care and taking care of yourself is actually a good thing. So if you
Mm-hmm.
need to take a break in the middle of the day to go and just sit by yourself, or to have that afternoon bubble bath, or to sit out in your garden and have a cup of tea without interruption, whatever that looks like for you, that's yours. And you, I guess it's like you are filling your cup, and you feel good about yourself. And it's hard to explain because it's a feeling. So everyone has their own feeling about it. And so when you have that feeling, you understand it. You're like, oh, this is what it feels like to feel poured into, whether it's through my community, whether it's my partner taking the kids for the afternoon and I go and have like a spa afternoon with my girlfriends, or I go grocery shopping by myself.
Yeah.
Like it's still part of your daily thing or your weekly ritual, but by yourself, like you said, is probably a lot different than having little ones with you who are
So
pointing out
different.
everything that they want, or grabbing onto things that they want, or maybe having a little bit of a meltdown in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
the
Oh, yeah.
grocery store. Yeah. So, well, I appreciate that. So when you were talking about like having that one thing that reminds them, that daily reminder, is there any particular mantra that you have used that has helped you, especially in your life, that is a daily reminder for you for your self-care? Is there like one that you have adopted for yourself that maybe you've shared with your clients, and what would that be and why?
I don't necessarily have just an exact one, but every day I wake up with a positive attitude, really. Just like, I've got this. I'm going to get things done today. I'm going to do the things that I want to do that are going to help me get where I want to be. And I'm capable of it. And so there's no reason that I won't.
I love that. Simple, right? Just to the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Well, well, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining me today and sharing your wisdom and experience in supporting busy moms on their health journeys. I love your passion for helping moms prioritize self-care and well-being. It's truly inspiring, and I really appreciate you taking the time to have this important discussion with me today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.
And for our listeners, be sure to check the show notes for Robynn's details if you want to explore her coaching programs further. I hope her advice today motivates you to take small, manageable steps each day to nourish your body and mind. Remember, self-care is never selfish. It empowers you to thrive in all areas, especially motherhood. Wishing you all continued growth on your wellness journey. And until next time, keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep designing your extraordinary life one day at a time. Thank you for joining me on Her Extraordinary Life by Design. I hope you've been inspired and empowered by the incredible stories shared on this show. If you enjoyed this episode and the conversations we've had, I would greatly appreciate if you could take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback and support mean the world to me, and it will help others discover the podcast and join our empowering community. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Together, we can continue to learn from these amazing women, uncover their extraordinary journeys, and be motivated to create our own lives by design. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, stay empowered and keep shaping your extraordinary life one day at a time.
Welcome to Sarah Talk Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, you've tuned into a bit of a different type of show. I'm Sarah B and I'm your host. You can find me on my IG, which is Aussie_Sarah_LA. I talk about amazing, relevant conversations and topics and what functions that goes on in this magical, wonderful, wonderful city of the City of Angels. My IG, which is Aussie_Sarah_LA. Have you ever wondered what actually happens in Congress every day? Stay informed on Capitol Hill's daily happenings with a concise, factual summary of the Senate and House of Representatives' activities from the previous session, free from bias, on the Congressional Record Daily Digest podcast. Subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and discover the process from the heart of U.S. politics. The Congressional Record Daily Digest, an Electricast production.
Electricast.